Mind your business. Clients don't love you. They love what you do for them, but they do not love you. Don't get it mixed up. Bar over clients, your loyalty is to the bar, first and foremost. Get a hold on yourself. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Mojola Olua in the building. Yay! Thank you so much for stopping by. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and leave me comments in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. What would you like me to talk about? Can you relate to my experiences as I share my experience as a Nigerian lawyer? It's Bar Talk with Ola. Hi guys, it's your favorite lawyer Mojola Olua in the building. Yep, welcome to another episode of Bar Talk with Ola. Today I want to share with you 4 things I learned from 4X principles. And the very first thing is mind your business. This is the very first thing I want to share with you today. And I learned this from my very first principal, pre-call. Yes, I interned at his firm twice. And I noticed and observed that he was someone that minded his own business. It was not a meddlesome interloper as some principals are. And trust me, I have seen one of those. So he was somebody that stayed in his own office. He adequately prepared for all his cases. He was soft spoken. He kept to the practice of law. He did not get things twisted. You could see that this man faced his law practice squarely. You would find him in the office at any point in time. It wasn't those kind of principals that would be gallivanting all over town. His name was everywhere, but not his person. Like his person was at his place of business. He was there always, he minded his business. And I noticed that he had an excellence about his practice. Yes, he had an updated library, with law reports, textbooks, and all of that. He had a string of junior lawyers, associates, he faced his business and he had a wonderful, amazing clientele. And he had a record, for doing his cases excellently. Even the judges respected him. He commanded respect even in open court. And his own colleagues, could speak as to his excellence in practice. Yes, so that's one thing I learned about him. He was a fine lawyer, if you would have that. And I saw that he set himself up for excellence. He had cases up to the Supreme Court. Yeah, he litigated up to the Supreme Court, and he had a track record of winning his cases. I wouldn't know if he won all his cases, but I know that he had a track record of winning cases. So I learned from him to be focused and to mind my business as a lawyer, in Nigeria. It's so easy to get mixed up with the mixed multitude, to want to be everywhere and in everyone's business, in everyone's face. I observed this about him, that particular principal. He minded his business, and it was a challenge for me in particular because I would go on to, work with a principal that was fond of gallivanting, jumping up and down, not staying in the office, having a lot of lapses with his cases, and even being reprimanded in open court by the judge. So I appreciated this, my very first principal. I appreciated him more after I had encountered some other principals. So I learned that if you want to have an excellent practice, you have to be focused. The Bible says, let your eyes be single, that your body may be full of light. So it's I found an application of these scriptures in the life of this my first principal. He faced the practice of law. He read, he studied, he discussed. Of course, when we were going to court, sometimes we would joke around and then we would talk about cases. And then I like the fact that it was soft spoken. I love soft spoken people because I do not like people that just shout and are just harsh in their tone, and people that just try to to talk everybody down, to browbeat everybody, people that are just their voice is just all over the place. I really love soft spoken people. So he was soft spoken, and it was like a plus for him on my list, of course. So I like that fact about my very first principal. He was really focused about his practice of law, and it paid off because He had a track record of excellence. He had an admirable and enviable clientele, and everyone spoke well of him when it comes to, if you want someone that will handle your case well, just go to this man, just go to this man. Even when I wasn't with him again, when I was with another principal, and I think I wouldn't know if he rubbed off on some of his associates, or if to say that they built themselves that way, but I could see that some of his associates were also some of the smartest lawyers I've ever come across. They had an amazing sense of logical reasoning, and they had the way of putting things together, legal principles, and applications of the law. And it was really challenging for me. I knew that I wanted to be like this man in his focus. He minded his business. So that's the first lesson I want to share with you today. You want to be a successful lawyer in Nigeria? Mind your business. The second lesson that I learned from my second principal is that clients do not love you, they love what you do for them. Incidentally, I did not learn this from him while I was under his tutelage, but I learned it from him while I was with my first principal. But he had said it in my presence and explained it to me. So each time I remember it, I remember him. So he was saying it that day that, he was even saying it to a client, that clients do not really love you. Do not get it twisted. Don't think that, oh, this client loves me so much, and then you go all in, you put your life on the line, you put your license on the line, you put your principles, your moral values, your faith on the line for a client's case, just because you want them to see that, oh, you're doing well. No, 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 it doesn't work that way. These clients, they don't love you. They love what you do for them, which is good, which is fair, only that you should not mix it up. If you were to drop dead today, clients will get up and move to the next available lawyer for the same services. And trust me, there are lawyers that can probably do what you're doing as well or even better. So do not ever think that, oh, this client loves me so much, and then you put everything on the line for them. It doesn't work that way. You have to do your best for the client, but do it within the bounds of the law, within the bounds of reason, within the bounds of what your faith, your personal values, and belief system permits. So do not think that clients love you and then throw caution into the wind and then start making enemies with everybody on behalf of your client. It's not a war, it's litigation, or it's consultation advisory, whatever it is, whether you're an advocate or a solicitor. We are barristers and solicitors of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. That's how we are called in Nigeria. So whether you're working in the role of a solicitor or an advocate or both, always remember that your brief, your duty is to do what is best for your clients within the bounds of the law, within the bounds of reason, within the bounds of what is fair, within the bounds of your moral beliefs and values, and of course, within the bounds of your own faith, if you have any. Do not take things too personally on behalf of clients. If you die on a matter, the clients will move to the next available lawyer. That's number one. And then two, don't turn against your own colleagues. Clients will come and go, but the bar will remain. So you don't need to make enemies on behalf of your clients, and you don't need to allow your clients to turn you into an enemy of your colleagues at the bar. I've shared on this channel how one of my principals was in a matter. We were in the matter together at the time, and then we finished from court one day. After the court sitting, she was exchanging pleasantries with the counsel on the other side, whom she actually knew before the matter, who was like a senior sister to her, if I would call her that. And then the client got angry, and the next time he visited our office, he accused my principal of having compromised just because she was exchanging pleasantries with our colleague at the bar. I wrote about it. I think I wrote a few fiction works about it, or non-fiction thereabouts. But essentially, it's important for you not to take your client's matter so personal that you become an enemy of your colleagues. I've also shared on this channel how the other counsel in one of the matters we were involved in, was very adversarial in the beginning. But my principal took it in strides, and she ensured that we did not match him with the same attitude. Don't make enemies on behalf of your clients. It's just a case, and it will come, it will go. It will be resolved whichever way it is. No need to start a war that's unnecessary. The third lesson I learned from my third principle, which I'm going to share with you today, is get a hold on yourself. Come on, what's this anger issue you have that you can't control? You don't need a temper as a lawyer. You do not need it. It's your enemy. You should divest yourself of unnecessary temper. I had this principal that had a temper. He would snap at us at the office, snap at his personal assistant. He would snap at me. He would snap at, other people. And then there was a day we were in court together and he was snapping at the judge. And I was just so embarrassed on his behalf. It's very important as a lawyer to get a hold on yourself. There are times when, your patience will be tested. Your anger management abilities will be tested. But it's better if you pass those tests because, once people know that you have a temper, once people know that you can't get a hold on yourself, they would exploit this. When I was interning as an undergraduate, I remember that in that jurisdiction, there was a particular lawyer that was known for always getting angry. So lawyers were always exploiting this. At my chambers at the time, they would talk about him in a derogatory manner, and then, they would say all manner of things he had said and laugh about it and make fun of him. And because everyone already knew that he had this temper, they found a way of exploiting it. If you have a temper that you cannot control, it puts you on the wrong side with judges. They'll look at you. Sometimes you're trying to communicate something, but because you can't get a hold on yourself, it gets lost in transit. So nobody knows what you're trying to say. They just see that you're angry, you're shouting, you're making faces, and you can't just control yourself. So you don't need to be confrontational. You don't need to snap at everyone. So please get a hold on yourself. I eventually moved my practice from this principle because I knew that I did not want to acclimatize myself with this kind of environment. I did not want to learn how not to be able to control my temper. It's very important. It's one thing I always watch out for. I don't ever want to learn how not to control my temper. I know that it's very important for me to get a hold on myself. So I am very deliberate about that part of my life. So I knew that I did not want to learn this habit because, when you stay in an environment for so long, you begin to assimilate some of the things that the people in that environment do. And then somehow it becomes your new normal. And I knew that I did not want this to become my new normal. And plus other things that were happening at the time. So I eventually moved my practice. But of course, not without learning that lesson. The funny thing is that if you have a temper and if you're known for snapping, shouting everyone down, browbeating everybody, clients might like it. They might praise you for it because, in this part of the world, if you're someone that shouts all the time, that snaps at people, that talks people down, that represses people with the tone and the loudness of your voice, people think that you have an upper hand. So clients would probably like that. They would like you to, display your strength, so to speak, in court and against their opponents. But would you not prefer to speak calmly and authoritatively, like my first principle? I think I'd prefer that rather than empty noise making. I'd prefer to speak calmly and still get things done than shouting and making noise up and down. And then your opponents will exploit it. Once they know it's a weakness, they will exploit it. And then judges will detest you. It will just put you in the wrong books of judges. Not many people would understand that you're just being yourself or you don't mean any harm. People would most likely always get the wrong message. So it's important for you to get a hold on yourself. And of course, your associates might dread you or even detest you. So you become that kind of boss, that kind of principal, or that kind of lawyer, associate, partner that they say, oh, he's around everybody. She's around. You don't want that kind of situation. You don't want people pretending around you. You don't want people, getting into acts around you instead of being themselves and, being able to freely express themselves around you. So it's very important for you to get a hold on yourself as a lawyer. It will help you in your practice. The fourth thing that I learned from my fourth principle is the camaraderie at the bar. Great Nigerian bar. Great. There's no healing like that. I just made it up anyways. We don't do that. We don't do that. It's a noble profession. We're not students. We're not artisans and all of that. We don't make those kind of calls. But again, I say, great Nigerian bar. Great. So there's a camaraderie at the bar that you need to learn and that you need to embrace. I learned this from my fourth principle. she had a way of, respecting other lawyers, no matter their attitude and no matter their role, whether they are the opposing counsel or whether they're the one instigating litigation, instigating something unpleasant. She just had a way of, turning them into friends or just respecting them, giving them cordial respect and all of that. I think it's very important for lawyers to learn this. I have learned this myself. I have learned that we are first lawyers before we are prosecutors or defense counsel or claimant counsel. We are first lawyers. We belong to the same Nigerian bar, and it's bar over clients, bar over cases, bar over grievances, bar over sentiments. Yes, so there's no point making enemies of other lawyers because of cases or because of their own attitude. Because I know that a few times we had that experience when I was with her, and then there are some lawyers that would not accord you the same respect. There are some lawyers that would not, give you the same treatment that you're giving to them, even in front of litigants, in front of clients. But I noticed that she always put respect first. So sometimes, and I think that there are some people that she patiently respected to the point of, earning their respect back. She taught me that one thing unconsciously, and I've learned it, and I hope to continue to practice it. It's very important. I would never forget this case where the lawyer was very adversarial from start, and by the end of the case we were smiling together. I remember the last day I went for the matter, and I was in court, and he was asking for my principal with joy, with Jesus joy on his face and in his heart, I hope. And I was really thinking in my heart that, is this the same man that was so adversarial at the beginning? We'll get to the office and we'll talk about how he was instigating his clients and how he wasn't helping matters and he was making inciting statements. It was a little frustrating at the beginning, but as time went by and by the end, he was our friend. And I'll never forget another case that we were in, and then the other counsel did not have a lawyer, and the judge ordered him to go get a lawyer for that proceeding. And then the judge ordered him to go get a lawyer for that particular proceeding if he wanted to be heard. And he went out and got a lawyer. And he came in with the attitude of, now my lawyer will come and deal with you. And then the lawyer came in, and then the lawyer wanted to start, dealing with us. And then the lawyer looked and saw that we were the one. And then my boss started smiling at him and started greeting him pleasantly. And then he was like, my senior, and all. He was laughing with us. Obviously, the man was not pleased because he was wondering why the person he had gone to obtain to deal with us was smiling with us. Eventually, at the end, my boss and the other lawyer were able to talk things through, and he was able to see things, from the proper perspective. It's a very important lesson personally for me. We should, or as lawyers, respect each other in front of clients and even in courts. We should respect ourselves. We shouldn't speak ill of ourselves before laymen, mere mortals. We shouldn't just debase ourselves before mere mortals. We're lawyers, for crying out loud, so we should behave as lawyers. We should bring all the respect and all the camaraderie that comes with being a lawyer to play. So these are the lessons I have learned from my 4 principals so far. I've had other bosses, but not in the principal roles. I hope to put these lessons in practice as I continue my own legal practice in Nigeria. Let me know if you learned anything from this episode. Leave me comments in the comment section. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Toodles!